The air in the hospital pumping room smelled like antiseptic and stale coffee, a scent that had become my entire world. It was 2 a.m., and the only sound was the mechanical, rhythmic hum of the machine, a cold, heartless substitute for a nursing infant. My name is Lauren, and 1 floor below me, my son Leo was fighting for his life in a plastic box. Born at just 27 weeks, he was a tiny, 2-pound bird with skin like parchment. Exhausted and terrified, I reached for my phone, my hands shaking as I texted our image-obsessed family group chat, "Leo is having a hard night. Please just pray for him." Minutes later, the screen buzzed. It wasn't a prayer. It was a photo of Aunt Rebecca at a gala, smiling in a ball gown. The caption read, "So proud to represent our family. #givingback." In that moment, the antiseptic smell felt like it was choking me. I wasn't a niece, I was a social inconvenience that I and my family, we weren't just relatives, we were an institution, an old-money Boston name obsessed with pedigree and philanthropy. Our lives were governed from the immaculate, mahogany-paneled office of the Family Foundation. The unofficial CEO was my Aunt Rebecca. She wasn't warm, she was efficient. She managed the family's reputation like a hawk, ensuring that every public-facing detail was polished and pristine. Anything that didn't fit the narrative of perfect, charitable, and strong was treated as a problem to be managed. To Rebecca, my career as a grant writer for messy nonprofits, those dealing with addiction and homelessness, was a quiet embarrassment. She preferred solving problems with large, publicized checks from a distance, never by getting her hands dirty. "Lauren is the sensitive one," she'd say at dinners, code for being a disappointment. My struggle to provide an heir, marked by 2 devastating miscarriages, was viewed not as a tragedy, but as a social inconvenience to be hidden away in clinical silence. Those first few weeks turned into five agonizing weeks of total isolation. My world shrank to the size of Leo's incubator, a foreign planet where the language was spoken in grams and milliliters. I learned to read the heart monitor like a sacred text, knowing which alarm meant he had simply forgotten to breathe and which one meant run. While I sat by that plastic box for 12 hours a day, the silence from my family was deafening. I'd send updates, "Leo gained 20 grams, he's off the ventilator," only to receive a single thumbs up from my father or nothing at all. But in the pumping room, I found my real tribe. We were a broken, exhausted sorority of strangers who celebrated every bottle taken and cried over every setback. Then, I saw it, a photo of my family clinking glasses at a Sunday polo match. The caption? "Wonderful family day." I realized then that I had been successfully edited out of their perfect lives. By the end of the 5th week, Leo was stable, but in the NICU, stable just means the crisis isn't happening right now. I was in the hospital cafeteria, stirring a cup of terrible coffee, my eyes burning with a fatigue that lived in my bones. I pulled out my phone to text Ryan, and the screen suddenly exploded. It lit up like a Christmas tree, 73 missed calls and dozens of texts, all from my brother, Ethan. My heart didn't just race, it slammed against my ribs. 73 calls isn't a check-in, it's a catastrophe. My fingers shook so hard I could barely unlock the screen. The last text from Ethan was in all caps, "Lauren. Answer. It's Aunt Sharon. She's at Mass General. It's bad." Sharon, the sidelined Aunt Rebecca always pushed away, had suffered a massive stroke. I ran out of the cafeteria, my world going sideways, finally realizing that the family's cruel silence was about to be replaced by a loud, terrifying noise. The fog of 5 weeks of isolation cleared, replaced by a cold, sharp fury. Ethan had revealed the unthinkable. Rebecca told the family I had postpartum psychosis, claiming I was unstable and dangerous to my own son to justify her visitor ban. I wasn't the grieving victim anymore, I was the prosecution. "Set up a video call," I told Ethan. When their faces flickered onto the screen, crowded in a hospital room at Mass General, I didn't greet them. I picked up the laptop and walked to the NICU viewing window. "Look at him," I commanded, my voice like ice. I angled the camera at Leo, a tiny fighter under blue Billy lights. "This is your grandson, Dad. He has fought alone for 5 weeks because you believed a lie." When Rebecca snapped that I was being hysterical, I leaned in close. I wasn't the one performing at a gala while my nephew was on a ventilator, Rebecca. You didn't protect this family, you protected your image. The aftermath wasn't loud, it was a heavy, deafening silence that finally allowed the truth to breathe. My father and Brenda arrived the next morning, no longer the polished pillars of Boston society, but broken people scrubbed raw by shame. Seeing my father stand over Leo's incubator, finally recognizing the man beneath the image, I realized that forgiveness wasn't a gift I owed him, it was a foundation we had to build from scratch. 10 weeks later, we brought Leo home. When the intercom buzzed and Aunt Rebecca's voice crackled through, offering a donation for a trust fund, my hand didn't tremble. We don't need a donation, Rebecca, I said, my voice final. You are a relation, my family is inside this house. At Leo's first birthday, surrounded by my NICU sisters and a father who finally chose to see the mess, I realized blood isn't an obligation, it's a title earned through action. Choosing peace over toxic ties isn't abandonment, it's survival.